Okay, good morning students. Today we will talk about the GTO's tests, and in this test what we will talk about, what is it that the GTO checks in a candidate, that is number one. Number two, why do so many candidates find the GTO's tests difficult to clear? So, these are the 2 points we will touch upon today. The first point, GTO. See, you all know when you go for your SSB, there will be 3 assessors who will assess you: the psychologist, the GTO and the president of the board. Now, all these 3 assessors assess the candidate in their own way through their own tests. Now, as far as the GTO is concerned, what does he check in a candidate? There are 2 things that he checks. Number 1, the physical fitness of the candidate, and number 2, the ability of the candidate to fit into a team and be able to perform in cohesion with other team members. Now, number 1, why does he check the physical fitness? The reason for that is, see, this is a field job. You are not joining an office based job. In this job, you will be posted in different types of terrain. Sometimes you will be posted in the deserts, sometimes in the mountains, in snowbound areas, in jungles. And during this tenure, you will have to deal with the enemy. So, if you are not physically very fit, you will find that your efficiency to work gets dropped. So, that is the first thing which the GTO checks, your physical fitness. Are you healthy enough to be able to perform in difficult type of terrain? That is one thing. But the bigger part of the GTO's task is not the physical fitness part, but the second part, the ability of the candidate to work in cohesion with other members of the team. Now, why this requirement? This requirement has a bearing on military operations. Any military operation, whether in the army, air force or navy, however big or small that military operation may be, it is always carried out collectively as a team. There is no military operation which one man carries out solo. It will never happen. It happens in films, all right, but in real life it does not happen. You will work as a team. All that military operation, however small it may be, it will be conducted as a team. Now, let us say there is a small operation consisting of 5 members, and out of those 5 members, 4 of them are very professional, they are very well trained, motivated and dedicated to their job. But the 5th member of the team, he is a weak link. If that happens, then what will happen? See, this military operation, any military operation is carried out against the enemy. Now, if that military operation fails, the enemy will succeed. Your operation failing means the enemy gets that advantage. On the other hand, if the operation succeeds, it is the enemy that gets the beating. Therefore, the GTO would ensure that every member can work in cohesion with other members and is suitable to be part of that team. So, this is the second thing that he checks. Major focus of the GTO is to check on the second part. Physical fitness, if you are slightly below the mark, he may still ignore it, he may still select you, because if you get selected and when you go for your training, even if you are slightly weak in terms of physical fitness, the military training is such that within a period of 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 days, you will come at par with other members of your trainees. So, this part he is not very serious about, but the second part, your ability to fit into a team, is something which he will be very, very particular about. So, these are the 2 things that the GTO checks. Now, as far as the GTO's outdoor tests are concerned, what all tips would I like to give you? Number 1, do not look at the GTO when the test is going on, whether it is an indoor test or an outdoor test. Some candidates keep looking at the GTO whether he is looking at me or not. So, do not do that. The GTO is doing his job, you focus on the task that has been given to you. Okay, number one. Number two, many candidates are not very attentive. Before each test, the GTO will issue detailed instructions. You must listen carefully to what he is saying, because those instructions would help you clear that task very comfortably. But if you have not paid any attention to those instructions, you will get confused midway, because you would not know what has to be done. So, please be careful about that. Listen to his instructions very, very deliberately. Okay. If you violate any group rule, there are 5 group rules. I am assuming you are aware of those group rules. So, there are 5 group rules. In case during the conduct of any outdoor test, you violate inadvertently, you happen to violate any rule, then please go back and redo it. Do not assume that the GTO has not taken note of it. He definitely would have noticed what you have done. So, it is a good idea to go back and repeat rather than assuming that the GTO has not seen it. Okay. Number 4, you have to be a very active participant in all the tests. This is one major reason why a lot of candidates fail to clear the GTO's tests. See, the GTO's tests are all performed in a group, except for one test, the individual obstacles, where your performance is gauged solo. Other than that, all the tests, indoor and outdoor, they are performed as part of a group. So, if you are not an active participant, you will not do well in his tests. Okay. And in these tests, especially the outdoor tests, nobody is nominated as the leader. The leader in that group emerges automatically by the way you participate, the initiative that you show, the active participation that you indulge in. So, all these things, by doing all these things, a leader emerges automatically, except for command task where everybody is nominated as a leader. In other tests, the leader emerges from his own participation. So, if you are an active participant, you are also a leader, you are showing your leadership traits. Okay. Do not be critical of any other member of your team. In your group, let us say there is a group of 20 people, all 20 are not at par with each other. Some of them are very strong candidates, some of them are mid-level candidates, and some of them would be weak candidates. So, these weak candidates who would not allow the task to get completed easily, please do not be critical of them. You have to work as part of a team, as part of a group. So, do not be critical. Next point, please show your liveliness. See, these tests are conducted, especially the outdoor tests. You will get tired, you will have to perform those tests in the, let us say it is the month of June, which is a hot month. So, you will feel a little tired, a little weak, you will also become restless, and especially if you have to contend with weak candidates, it will make you irritable. So, please do not show your irritation, you must maintain a cheerful look on your face all the time. Okay. You must, the language that you speak, because in these tests you have to discuss your plan, right, and you must use polite, decent language. Do not use any foul or unparliamentary words, because it will go against you. Okay. One very important point, you have to be very loud and clear in your speech. Let us say a plan is being discussed, and if your speech is very low, you may be giving a very good plan, but if the GTO cannot hear you, or if your speech is not clear, there is no clarity in your voice, you will create a very bad impression on the mind of that GTO. Okay. So, these are some of the tips that I had to give you, and the GTO's tests are very interesting. Not that the psychological tests are not interesting, but the GTO, because you are working in a group, The psychological test, most of them except for PPDT, you have to perform all by yourself. But in the GTO test, you are working as part of a team, and the team members of that you would be facing would be from the entire country. You may be from North India, somebody would be from South India, somebody may be from Central India. So, it will be a mix of people from all parts of the country, and it is actually a lot of fun performing or taking part in the GTOs, both indoor and outdoor tests. So, be positive, be comfortable. Within a day you will become comfortable. Those members, you will become friends with them, and although you are competing with each other, but basically you are all friends. So, be comfortable, be happy, and work in unison with each member of the team, and if you do that, you will create a very good impact on his mind, on the GTO's mind, and he will obviously grade you favorably. So, these were my guidelines for the day, and when I come again, we will talk about different tests, and I will give you tips about individual tests of GTO. Thank you.